This is Darius Oliver with Divine Numerology. We're here today on August the 11th. No, it's not. But we're here at a day in the month of August, and we're just talking to you guys and welcoming you and thanking you for being on the show with us and for tuning in at this time. So today we're here to talk about numerology and what it says, what it has lies in store for us for the future, and how to decode these patterns in our daily life. One of the awesome things about numerology is about its origins and where it comes from and how far back it's dated and traced. And then how did they acquire the knowledge of the numbers? How did they acquire what the information is in it? So we're going to hop right into that when we get back from our break. Stay tuned, okay, guys? Don't go nowhere.
I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock.
I should have known.
Here at KXVS, broadcasting.
Hello, this is Darius back again with Divine Numerology. Thanks for tuning in, Stockton, to KXVS 92.1. We are here talking about the origins of numerology, where it came from, why do we have it, why does it matter, then how to use this stuff. Like, this is some pretty cool stuff if you don't already know that, which I'm sure you probably do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching us talk about it. But what is it? Well, it's the science of studying and understanding how to activate the energies in our birthday and our name, and how to use them to our advantage. How did it start, and what are the origins? Well, numerology is not really something that started, but it was something that already was, and was more discovered than started. It was something that related to people finding out patterns. People, really smart people that caught on to patterns and consistencies and just asked questions why, and then they just kept investigating and found further deeper answers. The way that it goes, the way that it works is in associating different meanings to the numbers that we have, that we use, giving them qualities, giving them personalities, and it's in the personalities and qualities that they already have, that which they already show, and noticing the different traits that certain people will have that are associated with certain numbers. Like, you'll notice that people who have a strong 9 energy tend to be very caring about others around them with relation to the public, the big picture, and looking out for others, looking out for people. Then people who are associated with the number 3 would tend to be very expressive and easygoing and very emotionally intelligent and aware of the really powerful ways to express themselves. People associated with the number 4, which is structure, tend to be very organized and structured. 7's introspection. 8, it's very social, interactive, and very powerful, because those are the qualities. Then you got the 6, which is the domestic, home, loving vibration. 5, which is all about freedom and enjoying freedom, which is balanced then by creating a structure to enjoy that freedom. Then you have the 2, which is cooperating and working well with other people, and the 1, which is the self and standing up for oneself in their independence and being new and creative and innovative. And you notice all these different traits and qualities over time associated with people of these dates. You got very smart, wise civilizations like the Egyptians, the Babylonians. It goes back further to people who are privy to this information, the times in Atlantis, where much of the knowledge that's just coming back now was already had been around for a long time, way back then. So numerology goes way back. It has its roots thousands of years ago. But one of the people that is actually known to be he's considered to be the father of numerology. In fact, the numerology system that most people in the West use, Western numerology, they refer to it as Pythagorean Numerology, known and named after Pythagoras, who created the Pythagorean theorem. He also created the music scale that we use in our music, in our playing our songs, the different notes system. He created this and had incredible strides in music instrumentation. Numerology is something that is found all over stringed instruments, and the ways to play them and use them. In fact, very wise people, very wise musicians actually use numerology in music to heal. As far as certain musical scales, they'll come up with different combinations that will have a healing effect on its listeners. Then you have the hertz, gigahertz, or if that's the right terminology. You have hertz, 432 hertz. You have 852 hertz. All these different hertz of sound frequencies that create different healing effects on the body itself. And so these are some of the areas where numerology comes and where it plays a big part in its role with people in general. The biggest way that, like I say, that numerology has helped me is when I first started business. I wasn't doing numerology just, calculating it originally just for fun and like that so much as I was using it in my personal business and using it to create teams and sales teams and help people to market ideas and sharing these tips with my colleagues so that they could also increase their business. And it's a very practical science. It's an incredible science, and it's an art. And the thing about numerology that is, what's the difference between the science? Well, the science is the calculation. The science means that if you add up these numbers, it's always going to equal this result. That's the science. It's something that you will get consistently. The art in numerology is the interpretation process and the understanding of how this number influences this number, which influences this one, influences that one, and how all these different colors form together to make one picture. That's the art of it. And that's the measure of skill between a numerologist. How to weave together someone's personal life as it's shown by the science of calculating their numbers. In numerology, there's so many different methods of calculation, so many depths. And there's ways, what we call using our days. For instance, this is a question that I've been getting a lot is, well, Darius, how do we use our days? I was born on this day. How do I use it? Well, the way we can use our days, and that just means, oh, well, what's the day of your birth? Okay. And then it also means, well, what's the number of your life path? Okay. These are numbers that we can use to our advantage. For instance, someone who's born on the 5th of October, would be able to use the number 5 because they're born on a day that equals 5. They're born on the 5th. A person born on the 21st would be able to use the number 3 in a success, because 2 and 1, when you add them together, equals 3. So it's all about figuring out the number composition of the day of your birth. So whatever that equals, write that down. Then you can use that to your advantage. You can use that in planning things. You can use that in using it for time. You can use that in special events. I tell this to my business friends and business associates. You're born on a certain day. We'll use that in the place of your birth or your home. You're selecting a house. Why not get a house that resonates with the day of your birth? Then an even more powerful number to use is the number of your life path. And that's the number that you get when you add up the total birthday. So if you're born on October the 5th, the year 2000, that is 5 plus 1 plus 2, that's 8. That'll give you 8. So you could use the numbers 5 or 8, you see. And it's going to have certain effects. Different numbers will amplify certain qualities. So not only does it act to boost your energies, but this is a way to activate these numbers in real life. And using the days, and not just the day, but the life path, you can plot and notice certain patterns and trends in your life as you go about. So this is an answer to that question right there. How can I use my days? So those are a couple ways to use them. Then someone asked me, how can I use my months? So months are really interesting. So when you say, how can I use my months? There's different ways to use a month. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, you can use a day by plotting it out, using your birthday and your life path number. But when it comes to using months, you can use two different types of months, okay? There's calendar months, and then there's also personal months. And then, so the calendar month is going to be whatever month it is that you're in. Like right now, it's August. So August would be a calendar month 8. So particularly the 8th month will affect people born on the 8th, 17th, and the 26th in a certain way. And it will also affect people that have an 8 life path in a certain way. It'll bring out and emphasize and amplify certain qualities of that number for them to work on, is how the calendar month can affect you. And then we have what's called personal months. These are really significant because personal months are months where the vibration changes. The energy will change, and it may not always include, or it may not always match what the calendar month is. That's where we get our individuality. That's where we get the complexity of man. And for instance, the person that I mentioned who's born October 5th, the year 2000, say right now he would be, so this person born October 5th, the way we would find his personal month is to add the day of his birth, which is the number 5, and then add the month of his birth, which is October, which would give us 10. So we're going to simplify that month of October by adding the 1 and the 0, so it would get 1. And we're going to add that 1 to the 5. That gives us 6. So now that we've added his day and his month, we're going to add that number, which is 6, to the current year of the calendar year. In this case, 2017. So 2017, we add those together, it boils down to a 10, right? 2 plus 1 plus 7. You add that 10 to the 6 right there, and you get 16. So here we have what's called the personal year. So this person, let's call him John. John would be in a personal 16 year. A personal 16 year, right? So the essence of numerology is by adding the numbers until you get one single digit. So we would add the 1 and the 6, we get 7. So he's having a personal 7 year. So then what we would do is we would add that personal year to the current month that he's in. So we would add that 7 to the 8. And that would actually give us a personal year 6. A personal month 6. So he would be in a personal 6 year. He would be in a personal 7 year. And he would be experiencing a personal 6 month. And that right there will give us a totally unique blend as far as what experiences he's actually going to have during that time. what does that mean for him? What are the opportunities that he's going to have? And how can he use these numbers to his advantage if I were to share this information with him a month in advance or 2 months in advance? And then how would he look back on this time frame if he were to look at it from the future? Like if he's looking at it, if he's like, oh, looking back at those 2 months and, oh man, that was a personal 6 month for me. How would it affect the way he'd view the opportunities that came to him? Certain things would definitely stand out. And then certain things would definitely stand out if he's anticipating its arrival. So those are how we calculate personal months and personal years. And then how we can use those to our advantage. But then when we get back, what we're going to touch on is some celebrities that are really in the spotlight right now and how their numbers have been used for them as well in the future. Okay, guys? So don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Signs for their part.
Oh, this is Darius Oliver with Divine Numerology, just coming back. We're in the room and we actually did a contest. I did a contest and I wanted to see who people wanted to see me do a reading for, which one of celebrities. So this is my celebrity series that we just are launching. And it's because it's always interesting to check out celebrities and see, oh, who's that? What numbers do they have? Do they have my numbers or do they have someone else's numbers? And, just to find out what we have in common with people that we didn't realize. And out of the 5 celebrities that we could have seen, we had, let's see, I'm about to pull it up right now. I posted it on Facebook about, I think yesterday. Yesterday I posted it up, and we had 5 celebrities. The first one was Lady Gaga, then Beyonce, then Kendrick Lamar, then Britney Spears, and who else? Let's see. Kanye West. So we have 5 different celebrities, and of course Lady Gaga won. And who came in second? Kendrick Lamar came in second, and then then the rest were just kind of even, kind of lowballing it. But so we got Lady Gaga, and then we had Kendrick Lamar as the second most popular. So I did Lady Gaga's because that one was the most popular. That was the one people wanted to see and check out. So for Lady Gaga's life path, she actually is a 1 life path. And Lady Gaga she's born on a 1 day. And she's born on the 28th. So her full birthday is the 28th of March, 1986. And as such, she's ruled by the day 1 and the life path 1, which gives her a very strong sense of independence. Now, looking deeper into her life path, we see that her 1s are coming from the number 28 and for her day, but her life path is unique because it's coming from the number 55. 55 is what we call a master number vibration. And it really speaks volumes as to what it says about her as a musician, as an artist, as a being, as a person, and what potentials there are. And it also speaks loudly to those who share this master number 55, because of what it can accomplish. 5 is the number of change. It's a number of change, freedom. When a person wasn't, someone that's bound in slavery, breaking the chains of whatever form of slavery that is, whether it's addiction, whether that is being controlled by another individual. It's about breaking the chains. It's about changing the status quo. And it's almost like being a rebel in a way. And this 55 as a master number, 5 is one of the numbers that heavily resonates and rules with the mind. So 5, the person with the 5 energy, their mind is constantly moving, constantly in motion. And when we think of planets, when we think of other qualities of the number 5, we think of desire. One of the planets that goes with the number 5 very well is actually Mars. Mars is a very strong, passionate, intense desire. And then it's, taken to the double level, amplified. It just is totally intense, completely, just incredibly intense. And speaks as to the things that she's been able to accomplish. So this definitely speaks to someone who is a revolutionary, someone who wants to not only see change, but create the change and be a part of the change, and to be a catalyst for change in their life, but also other people's lives, and a change for the better, something that will improve people's lives. It's a very fortunate number, but it requires that a person always be moving and able to adapt to constantly moving circumstances. And by her learning learning these lessons, it helps her on her journey to do that. When I take a look at her full name, which is Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanata. Hope I said that right to every Lady Gaga fan out there. Hope I said that right. But when I take a look at this, we see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She has 10 letters that are represented by the number 5 in her name. the 5 energy is so strongly charged within Lady Gaga, it's not even funny. Which equips her very well to handle all the different things that come along with her life path. The constant change. It has brought different challenges in her life, constantly different people. If 5 is that number of physical motion, physical movement. And when you think of it, it's like traffic that's constantly flowing. And then now 55 is one of the numbers that's in her life path, but we also find, looking deeper, her general number right above that layer is the number 37. 3 and 7 equals 10 also. So this is a number that gives us more layers to who Lady Gaga is. So not only is she here to adapt to constant change, but her 1 is also coming from the number 37, which is expression. The 3 deals with the number of expression. 3 deals with entertainment. 3 deals with spirit. It deals with creativity being expressed on in a very artistic way. Then we have the 7, which is about truth, introspection, and analysis. So if you take a look at some of Lady Gaga's activities and the things that she is very passionate about, one of the things she's very passionate about is the LGBT community and helping people to stand up for who they really are and embrace who they are and not feel ashamed of it. And, you know, she's helped and assisted a lot of people in creating and having self-love, you see. And really, what is a 7? 7 is the number of truth, seeking and embracing and accepting one's own truth. She has helped millions of people to look within and find and accept their own truth, which is the 7. The 7 looks inside and finds and accepts its own truth. And then what's important once a person finds their truth is doing the 3. The 3 is expressing that truth, expressing it. She helps people to look within and to not just look within, but feel proud and express it outward. You see, the 7 is the number related to Jupiter, and then 3 is a number related to Venus, which is the heart. So looking within the heart and allowing that to come out is a big part of her life path. The master number 55 magnifies that and just takes it to a whole nother level to where it affects millions of people. Just a lot of people on a very big level. Not only has she been able to help people in this way, but throughout her life, if you do take a look at her life, she's come across circumstances in her life where she's had to experience this. The 7 has challenges at times when it's particularly when it's your life path number. It can bring a tendency with challenges in certain relationships and the ability to come and be out and be who you are in a relationship, and to allow that people to see that part of you that is open to love. The 7 would like to hide the 3. You see, the 7 is introspection, but it's also privacy. And the 3 is the heart. So the 7 would like to keep the heart private and keep the heart only to itself. But here, with her, the 3 being entertainment and her expression has overruled that tendency of the 7, so that her heart is expressing its truth. That's crazy. That's deep. And it's just, these are how the numbers are speaking through people. And it's just take a look at some of the things she says. She's known for some very controversial things, but one of the things that, we can say is that we have examples of her standing in her integrity when it comes to what she's willing to promote and what she's not willing to promote. standing up for who she personally believes that, who she is and what she's here to do on this planet and how she's going to impact people. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to touch back on Lady Gaga and go into her, the rest of her numbers, looking a little bit more deep, and to find out how all these are being expressed through her, especially in her music. All right, guys, don't go nowhere. Be right back.
Broadcasting from Stone Tube Studios is the voice of Stockton.
Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology, just coming right back from our little break. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Right before we went to break, we were actually talking a little bit about Lady Gaga and how her numbers are being expressed and shown through her in her life. And looking back on her life, for those of you who know about Lady Gaga and who hasn't heard about her, but how this just shows so strongly within her. Right before we went to break, we spoke about how her life path is being expressed. And we spoke about her master number 55. We spoke about the number 37 also being expressed in her life path. But now I'm going to touch on the date of her birth, being the 28th. So this is really cool that she just so happened to win the contest, because she's a really great example of layers of how the same number can be expressed through different layers. Like what's the difference between a 37 and a 55? Because you know what, 3 plus 7 equals 10. 5 plus 5 equals 10. They both equal the same number. So what makes them different? Perfect example. And the number we're going to talk about now is the day of her birth, which is the 28th. And the 28th as a number in and of itself is a blend between the numbers 2 and 8. 2 is cooperation and balance. 8 is abundance and power. And it just so happens that my specific life path is 28. So Lady Gaga's day of birth matches my life path. And so we have the number in different areas, right? So if it's going to be in different areas, then it's going to have different implications. Here in the life path, that's going to be learning certain qualities, learning certain traits, and learning how to become that and express it, versus being born on that date, meaning the tools and the skills and abilities that you're endowed with at an earlier age. So for Lady Gaga, born on the 28th, we have the 2. So some of the skills and abilities is the 2. Cooperation, teamwork, working with other people, working well with other people. And also, every number has its positive and its negative sides. So she definitely has had issues working with people, challenges working with teams. The number 2 is a number of females, feminine energy. So from time to time, working with women has been a big part of her success. And then it's also been a big, it has perhaps been an obstacle, but it's something that she has dealt with. Then the 8, which is connection and disconnection. And the 8 also, which is a very social number, very outgoing, very interactive, but a number that really wants a genuine, sincere connection, not just a superficial, phony connection, an imitation, but something that's real and genuine. And it is a number that is needing and requiring structure, but a structure that flows. So the number 2 and 8 as a combination, 8 is also, we mentioned it's abundance and power and, social power, but 8 is also a money number as well. And we call the number 2 the money number because it resonates with the element of water. 8 resonates with the element of earth. So we have water that flows with the flow of the earth and creates that stability. Water and earth make mud. Mud, that's, another form of mud is cement. You mix that cement and you let it dry after you pour it, and it creates a foundation, a solid foundation. So that's how these 2 numbers can interact. So as far as her being born on this day, the 28th, we have that 2 and that 8 being able to create this foundation for her in allowing her to express these powerful traits that she has. Now, with the 2 plus 8 equals 10, 3 plus 7 equals 10, 5 plus 5 equals 10. What does 10 mean? 10, think of the number 1 and then 0. 1 is confidence and creativity. 0 is all the potential that can come about and be birthed by the number 1. So the number 10 would be, if we could identify, we would say that it's the potential of that which can be created by the number 1. Once the self has stood in its own independence, stood in its own self. These are things that she has had to deal with in her life path. The one as a life path is one that Lady Gaga, it says that she has had to overcome people telling her no a lot. Lady Gaga says that she's an incredible entrepreneur. Lady Gaga is very independent, very independently minded and inclined, and values interdependence and not being dependent on other people, and really standing up for the self and helping people stand up for their self, being a natural leader and showing people the way, going the path no one has ever been before and showing them how to make their own path. That's what she is here to do. That's what her life path says. And when we take a look at celebrities, it's really easy to say, oh, well, they're just superficial. But when we take a look at their numerology and then compare their life and what they do to their numerology, we see, oh, wow, they're really resonating along with their life purpose. That means that they're, according to this, to a greater or lesser degree, that person is living a life of integrity. in that they are really doing their best to live up to their potential and what they value. And so that is our celebrity series for the day. That's our very first one, and we had Lady Gaga as that one today. And if you guys have any other suggestions or any questions that you would like to ask about numerology, message us. Message me in the video and on the show, you know, anything that you'd like answered, and also any celebrities that you'd like to see on for our review. And also check out my page and my like page, Darius Oliver and Divine Numerology, so that you can try to get one of the free readings on there and, you know, see what works for you. So message me if you have any questions on that, or you can call me. My number is 209-898-4103. That's 209-898-4103. And that's how you can get a hold of me. And, you know, this show is sponsored by Angelic Reiki with Jessica Gillenwater. And you definitely want to contact her and find out how you can, you know, receive the benefits of healing energy from Reiki, and what certain parts of the body may need healing for you. So check that out. And also, for those of you who are in Southern California area, I'm going to be in Carlsbad this weekend at the New Earth Expo. And you can catch me there. And boom, hopefully I can see you there and enjoy it. Enjoy a reading with you and getting to know you, and you getting to know me. All right, you guys have an awesome day, awesome evening, awesome weekend. This is Darius with Divine Numerology on the Voice of Stockton, KXVS 92.1. Have an awesome day. Peace.
Ronnie, Sam Ron House.